Hello, and welcome back to Xifeng Plays Umihara Kawase. Things have been a bit rough around here, so I'm really glad to be getting back into one of my favorite games to just go around it and see what I can find, see what I can do. I'm gonna go a different way than I usually go. Today I'll be working on the speedrun route, since I did the sightseeing route last time. And as always, I'm going to work on this bit because it's something that I still really enjoy. That was not quite flashy enough. I could have gotten to the door that way, but what I really want is to get a nice, good flinging motion this way. That was almost what I wanted, but then I fell off the edge, and I very nearly fell off the edge into the water there, which would have been an unrecoverable mistake. So I'll wait for this fish just to be safe, and then I will head up here. And I believe standing about halfway through between the ladder and the edge of the platform is the best place to stand to start that off. Didn't quite get enough momentum there. The timing is pretty tight. You want to be having a lot of upward and rightward momentum. I think just about a 45-degree angle is the best, because you really want to just fly past, and you want to be hitting up as soon as you hit the door. Watch out for that fish there as you come around. This takes many different attempts, a lot of trial and error. I think I'll try standing a little bit further forward. And that didn't get me hardly any forward momentum at all. But I don't know if that's where I was standing, or because of where I let go of the controller. That very nearly ran me into the fish. I do have to be watching the clock, because I will run out of time, and there I did hit the fish, and so I have to start the level over again, and because of that I think that I will try going up a different route this time. So I have been looking at a couple of different ways of approaching this particular part of the level. One way is to try and actually go up the middle here, which I almost managed. I didn't quite send the hook exactly where I needed to. So from here, what I'm seeing the best way that it looks like to go is to send myself to the left here, but I sent the hook in the wrong direction, and now I am worried about my ability to even get back on, but I managed to do it. So at this point, I think the safest thing is to go around this way. I don't know that I can actually get back to the left from where I landed. I don't really know of a way of getting past these fish without stunning them with the hook. That's something that I would like to find if it exists, because, you know, I don't like to hurt them. I know that they will hurt me if I touch them, but they can't really help that. I always kind of imagine that Umihara is allergic to seafood, and so that's why she kind of drops dead whenever she runs into a fish or an eel or anything. It doesn't make much more sense than the game itself. There is another place where I got the momentum that I needed, and then just wasn't really prepared to get that amount of momentum. So let's see. I'm really just so perplexed by this whole arrangement and why it is that it seems like sometimes I get really good momentum and sometimes I don't. And you know what it is about the different interactions that make it work or not work, but that went quite nicely. I landed maybe a little earlier than I would have liked, but that was pretty good. I'm gonna head up the elevator. I have been working on the underneath route, but it's still a long way from even accomplishing it once, which is then, you know, quite a ways from consistency, which is the ultimate goal. But I think even before I'm really consistent, I'll probably try and show it to you once I feel like I'm able to do it at all. And that's kind of the progression that I'm looking for, going from not being able to do something at all to being able to do it occasionally to eventually being able to do it every time. So because I'm doing the speedrun route, I'm going to go up to the left here. I saw someone in a speedrun go up this way, and I'd like to see if I can do that. I've gotten myself killed a few times trying to do this, so I probably won't work on it for too long, just because I don't want to bog the whole episode down. But that is a way that you can go. It takes a lot of practice, but it is entirely feasible. And I'm getting some interesting lag. I don't know if it's because I'm not holding the controller properly or because my computer's having some issues, but that was very nearly it. I do feel like I'm having a bit of lag, and I'm going to just check to make sure everything is working exactly right. I hope it doesn't make too much bumping sound, but it looks like everything's working just fine, so it's probably just either something going on with my computer, or maybe even just a subtle effect that I never noticed that has always been there, or it just could be the way that I'm holding my controller today. There's so many different variables that go into anything to do with computers, and video games especially, that it's often not possible to tell exactly what it is that's going on. I think I'll try going across the bottom once, and we'll see whether or not this works, because sometimes I get this on my first try, and sometimes it takes several tries. But if I don't get it on my first try today, which I did not, I want to try going over the top again, because that's a very challenging route that I don't know a whole lot about, because I've tended to avoid it because it's so difficult, and because I enjoy the sort of flying across the bottom route so much. And I tend to enjoy the flying and jumping routes more than the routes that involve dealing with a lot of mobs, partly because it means I don't have to hurt as many mobs, but partly just because I find the flying more enjoyable, and the dealing, it's not even, I wouldn't even say more enjoyable, just more natural feeling. I find dealing with mobs makes me very anxious, and even though I'm just, not any more or less likely to, get killed by a mob as by falling in the water, I feel more comfortable with the kinds of thinking I have to do for dealing with difficult jumps than I do for dealing with a lot of mobs being on the screen all at once. Now, speaking of difficult jumps, this is one of my favorite very difficult jumps. It's a very tight window, so tight that I can often tell whether or not I did it because I've done it so many times. And that felt good, but I didn't hit up soon enough. And I may have jumped a little bit too early off of the second platform because that was too long on the first platform, because I have to jump from the very far edge of the second platform and land as close to the middle of the third platform as possible. That was too low, but I did manage to make it back in time to do that. Alright, that was, I think, too low again? I'm not sure. I sometimes have a bad habit of correcting myself even when I'm not wrong. Of aborting what would have been a good run. Oops! That was a mistake. So now I'm going to have to work through this bottom bit again, which is tricky and adrenalating, but it's something that I really need to learn how to do, and as I work on it, I am going to gradually get a better sense for how to do it. And I find that there's an easier way to do it by waiting down here, and when those two meet in the middle, I come up here and then here, and I have plenty of time to get through that way. So if you are struggling with getting through that part in a single movement, dropping down into that pit can be a way of making it easier on yourself. So, really hitting the jump button almost before I land on this first platform is what I need to do to keep that third platform from not falling down too far. And so there I thought I had it, but I was a little bit too late. Or too early. And that I thought I thought I might have it, but I did not. So I just need to be patient with myself, be calm, really focus on getting that jump as early as possible. I'm still not quite getting it. This is a jump that I have made before, and I talked a little bit in the Ollie Ollie video about the frustration that comes with not being able to make a jump that I've made before in the past. But this jump is so difficult even that I find I have more patience for myself. So I know that I can skip this entire level if I want to, but I find these columns here kind of fascinatingly difficult. And then what I have to do there is basically what I did there, but I have to do it a bit quicker so that I don't fall on the spikes. So of course the speedrun route is just to jump over those spikes. Oops! I should have waited another cycle there. Because you can, and I've done this many times, you just have to have, oops! You have to have horizontal momentum when you jump, and let the cord pull you, but you have to jump at the last possible second. And so clearly that's something that also needs a lot of work. And it's something that I find easier to conceptualize than the moving columns. Now, something else that I might have done there if I had a little bit more presence of mind, that I was considering doing, and I'm not sure why I didn't, was going down that ladder next to the exit to see if I could do the level backwards and learn a little bit more about its structure that way, but I wasn't really thinking about it that way. I would like to see more about what's on this level. I'm not sure if I can avoid... could not avoid that cloud of ink, so I have to be really quick, it seems, to avoid that cloud of ink and get through the rest of the level there. I think for now I'm going to... that was a mistake. I was trying to just hook onto the exit door and go through there, because there's actually a very difficult place that I would like to show you that I've gone to once before. I don't know that I have enough levels to, lives I mean, to make it to that level now, but if I could make it there, I would really like to do that, because it's a pretty interesting problem that I do not have a solution for, my goodness. I was not expecting that. I really kind of got excited and ahead of myself and was really, I could feel I was really pushing on the controls very hard, which was, it's always a bad idea, in this case a particularly bad idea, but, you know, when the adrenaline really gets flowing, I start to lose a little bit more control over my muscles because I just get excited and I kind of seize up. And I don't know if that's something that everybody has experience with, or if that's something that only happens to me. I definitely had friends tell me that they don't have that experience, or have that experience less. And I know that a lot of times when I'm experiencing really intense, sort of visceral emotions, I will have I will contort my body in odd ways that I don't see a lot of other people doing. Like, sometimes when I'm trying to make a difficult jump in a platformer, I will, like, lift my legs up, almost. Actually, not almost. I will literally lift my legs up. Alright, so we made it out with 2 lives remaining. I don't remember if we're now on to... Yes, okay, so this is, I believe, the second to last level in this route. And it is very difficult, and I have kind of been struggling just with this really introductory part. So I have to grab onto the bottom of this moving platform here, which is itself not exactly easy. But should be... There we go. So now I pull that down, and I have to get on top of it, which is not especially difficult. Now I have to get up this chimney. I can't really grab on to any place very high up, and so what I have to do is just use this platform little bits at a time to climb my way up this chimney. And I'm getting a little sloppy with my controls. Oh dear. So that ink cloud will knock me straight into the water. And you can see it comes very frequently. And so I am trying to work my way out of this situation, but I really don't know an effective way of handling it. And so I kind of find myself just hanging here, looking at it, going like, what? Okay, so if I go like that... Oh, no, no, oh no! Yeah, no, can't save that. So now I have to work my way back onto that platform, which I'm not really confident in my ability to do. But let's give it a shot, because that's the only way of moving forward that I'm aware of. And I may have to just watch some more videos of people dealing with this and see how they deal with it, because I think that there's a way of getting through this that is pretty precise and pretty quick. And I think that if you can do a bunch of things in sequence, it makes this much more manageable, rather than doing it piece by piece like I'm doing here. And so I recommend checking that out and seeing if you can find a way of dealing with it all of a piece rather than one section at a... Oh dear. Oh hey, I didn't actually fall in the water. That's nice. So those ink clouds have quite a large hitbox as part of the problem. Alright, so now that I'm hooked onto the ceiling, I feel like I have a little bit more choice about how to time this. So is that going to push me all the way? It's not going to push me all the way back. So yeah, you have to jump over the ink cloud, which is quite difficult. And then I think the thing to do is hook onto the ceiling up there. Nope, that's not what I wanted. No. I'm trying to shoot the hook straight up, but my mechanics are not great. I am feeling a lot of kind of pressure on myself right now, which is making it more difficult. And I'm starting to get a little frustrated now with my inability to shoot the hook straight up. And there I'm going to fall in the water, and that's the end. So that is a level that I've been struggling with for quite a while, and I'm still not really getting the mechanics to deal with it. So that's definitely something I'll be coming back to in the future. I think I'm going to continue alternating which route I take, because there's still a lot of this game that I have not even touched. So next time we'll probably be trying to get past the giant tadpole again. There are even other routes that I might try approaching, though I don't really know the map well enough to say what exactly those are, but that's something else to consider in the future. For now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And most importantly, have a great rest of your day.